So I heard through a little birdie that Master Duel will soon be getting the Centur-Ion strategy. In today's video, not only will I be asking all of chat's or answering all of chat's questions about Centur-Ion, I'll be giving you a complete breakdown on what Centur-Ion does. Let's go ahead and jump on in. Centur-Ion is a very interesting Yu-Gi-Oh deck, and some people that think that when it comes into Master Duel, it may not be as strong because we don't have Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Calamity. I can tell you, you're going to have to deal with this deck. And the biggest reason is because Centur-Ion is a strategy that can play a ton of interruptions and can play cards like Dimension Shifter, so it may be a really good choice against graveyard-reliant decks that we've been dealing with, like Snake Eyes, Fire Kings, and even Rescue Ace. But let's go ahead and break down the cards and everything that you need to know about the deck. It all starts off with Centur-Ion Primera, the only tuner Centur-Ion monster that we have so far. Centur-Ion is based on being continuous trap cards and then activating themselves as continuous trap cards to be able to summon themselves to the side of the field. Centur-Ion Primera says that if it's a continuous trap card, level 5 or higher Centur-Ion monsters can't be destroyed by card effects. It actually does come up, because there are times where your opponent wants to get rid of your big body so you can't synchro summon, but Primera can protect them. But the most important thing about Primera is that if it's normal summon or special summon, it allows you to add one Centur-Ion card from your deck to your hand. This is the bread and butter of the strategy. It can summon itself and get you a Centur-Ion card from your deck to your hand. Now, the other Centur-Ion monsters is going to have this effect. If it's on your field, you can make it become a continuous trap card. And then if it's a continuous trap card, you can activate its effect as a continuous trap card to special summon itself as a monster. That still rings true for Centur-Ion Trudea. This card is actually really good. You guys didn't notice, it is a pyro monster, so it's searchable with the popular spell card Bonfire. And basically what this card does is that you can place this card you control into the spell and trap card zone to be able to place a Centur-Ion monster from your deck to your spell and trap card zone. It also has the same effect to be able to special summon it if it's treated as a continuous trap, but this time around, it changes itself from a level 4 to a level 8 of your choice. If you guys haven't caught on, there's actually 6 ways for this deck to get into the same one card combo. If you add Bonfire, it's 9 ways. What you do is that if you either get Trudea or Primera, you would summon one and then eventually you would get the other, and already you have a potential level 8 monster and a level 4 monster to be able to synchro summon into 12. Both Centur-Ion Primera and Centur-Ion Trudea are typically played as 3-ofs in every single Centur-Ion build. They are that important because they are the starter cards. Now, the other Centur-Ion is Centur-Ion Emmett IV. I don't know what happened to the first 3, but this card says during your opponent's turn, if it's in your hand or graveyard, you can target one Centur-Ion monster you control, except itself, place it into the spell and trap card zone as a continuous trap card, and if you do, special summon this card. Now, you cannot special summon Centur-Ion Emmett for the rest of the turn. This card's really good because it allows you to be able to get resources back, but more importantly, it also has another effect that says during the main phase, if it's a trap card, it can summon itself. The reason why that's really important is because sometimes you don't want to make Trudea level 8, or sometimes you don't have access to the level 8 Trudea. So being able to have this card to summon yourself to the side of the field to synchro summon with is good. And another good reason why you may want to consider using this card instead of Trudea is because when you synchro summon with your Centur-Ion cards, they go to the graveyard and not into the spell and trap card zone. So having your Centur-Ion Trudea in your spell and trap card zone as a continuous trap can be pretty good for follow-up. The last card is Centur-Ion Gargoyle II. Still don't know what happened to the first. And this card's a little bit different. It says you can send one face-up Centur-Ion card you control to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. But also, you can't special summon Centur-Ion Gargoyle for the rest of the turn. But if this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can add this card to your hand. During the main phase, if it's continuous trap, of course you can summon itself, but this card has the ability to potentially reduce its level by 4. So basically, all of the Centur-Ion cards have a way to be able to summon themselves as trap cards as monsters. They also have another cool unique effect, and 2 of them have the ability to change their effects from 4 to 8 or 8 to 4, which allows you to synchro summon into level 8 monsters or 12 monsters at the drop of a dime. Only good cards get numbers at the end of their names? He's not bad. So you guys are catching on with the Centur-Ion monsters? Do you understand everything? Yes. Okay, cool. The deck is really straight line forward. It sounded like 4W Virtual World instead of 3-6. That's actually a really good way to translate it for the people that don't understand. It is pretty much 4-12 Virtual World instead of 3-6-9. The Centur-Ion spell cards actually allow Centur-Ion to be really, really good. I'm going to start off with the most important card, Stand Up Centur-Ion. This card says it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects while you have a control a Centur-Ion monster card. Keep in mind, it says a Centur-Ion monster card, which means as long as the card is a monster card, it can't be destroyed. You can only use each of the following effects of Stand Up once per turn. During the main phase, if this card was activated, you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard to place a Centur-Ion card from your deck into your spell and trap card zone as a continuous trap. It also says if a monster is special summoned immediately after this card resolves, you can synchro summon. So Centur-Ion has 12 ways to be able to get into its one card combo. Stand Up Centur-Ion, Bonfire, Trudea, and Primera. They're all essentially going to be doing the same thing. If you started off, for example, with Primera, you would summon Primera to search your Stand Up Centur-Ion, activate your Stand Up Centur-Ion to place the Trudea, then Trudea can summon itself and place Emmet into the spell and trap card zone, and ta-da! Looks like you have a way to be able to synchro summon, and you also have some really good follow-up. Emblema Oath 2? How could I be so dumb, guys? My fault. It's actually 16 ways with Emblema of Oath. This card allows you to place one Centur-Ion monster from your deck into your spell and trap card zone as a continuous trap card, which means that you can get Trudea and your Primera into the spell and trap card zone to be able to summon. It also allows you to be able to set one Centur-Ion spell or trap card from your deck. So if you already have a full combo, you can set Wake Up Centur-Ion, Centur-Ion Phalanx, or Centur-Ion True Awakening. And I'll be able to talk about the trap cards in a second, but Wake Up Centur-Ion is actually incredibly good. Wake Up Centur-Ion says if a face-up monster is in your spell and trap card zone, you can declare one level from 4 to 8. You can spell summon a Centur-Ion token, and it becomes that declare level. The only drawback is that you can't fusion summon with it, but I'm pretty sure you're going to be synchro summoning with it in a Centur-Ion deck. It also says, during the main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard to send one Centur-Ion card from your deck to the graveyard, which can essentially turn on your card effects like Emmet. I think that's really good, because those cards' effects can be used to the graveyard to be able to summon another extension of a level 8, or potentially 8 that becomes 4. Ah, sick. Like Sword Soul token and spell card banished together. Yeah, it's like a better Sword Soul, chat. Now, as far as the Centur-Ion cards that I've talked to you guys about, the Gargoyle and Emmet, you normally play one of each. The Emblema, you play 3. The Stand Up Centur-Ion, you play 3. Wake Up, ironically, you could play 1 and get away with it. It's a good card, but it's not like, oh my god, I need this card. It's just really good that you can play one of. Finally, something to do with my ringworms. Centur-Ion Bond says, place one Centur-Ion monster from your hand or graveyard into your spell and trap card zone. And then if a Centur-Ion synchro monster is special summoned while it's in the graveyard, you can banish this card to target a Centur-Ion monster in your graveyard and place it in the spell and trap card zone. This card's really good for getting your Centur-Ion cards after you use them for synchro summons, or probably even if your opponent disrupted them and sent them to the graveyard. It's great for recovery. The trap cards in Centur-Ion Phalanx allows you to be able to banish a card on your opponent's field, and then you summon back that special summon monster. It also has an effect that where you can banish this card from the graveyard, then target a Centur-Ion synchro monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So really good effects there. Centur-Ion True Awakening is the trap card, and it says when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated, you get to send one face-up monster card in your spell and trap card zone to the graveyard to negate the activation and destroy it. Centur-Ion Phalanx is normally the one that players play more of, and it's mainly because it doesn't require you to get rid of a monster in your spell and trap card zone, but Centur-Ion True Awakening is not a bad card either. I've seen builds play one of each. I've seen builds play one Phalanx. I've seen builds play one Awakening. It's really up to you. I'm going to leave that up to you guys on how many you want to play and all that, but they're pretty solid Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I think the most important thing about the Centur-Ion thing, which wraps up everything for you guys, is the Centur-Ion Synchro monsters. Now, unfortunately, We don't have any Centur-Ion level 8s, but we have some crazy good level 12s. Centur-Ion Legatia says that your monsters with 2,000 attack or less cannot be destroyed by battle. So that's kind of crazy already, especially if you summon it with your Centur-Ion Phalanx. It can't be destroyed by battle because it has 2,000 attack itself. The Phalanx will reduce its attack. And then if it's special summoned, you get to draw one card, then destroy a monster on your opponent's side of the field with the highest attack. Both the Centur-Ion Synchro monsters have a pretty cool effect. Legatia allows you to be able to place a non-synchro Centur-Ion monster from your hand or graveyard to the spell and trap card zone during the end phase. So even if you are getting rid of your Centur-Ion monsters with synchro summoning, these cards allow you to get them right back. This card was the craze on the entire Centur-Ion deck. People were playing 2 copies, 3 copies, because not only does the draw effect replace your stand-up Centurion's discard, it also gets back resources. But now, people have been dropping this one in favor of Centur-Ion Auxilia. Auxilia is slightly stronger because it says face-up cards in your spell and trap card zone cannot be destroyed by card effects. One of the biggest weaknesses for this deck was Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, but if you synchro summon into Auxilia, it kind of deletes that. It also said with a spell summon, you can add one Centur-Ion card from your deck to your hand. During the end phase, this particular synchro monster places a Centur-Ion monster from your graveyard, but also can place banished Centur-Ion monsters into your spell and trap card zone, where Legatia places hand in graveyard only. Now, the good thing about Auxilia is that it can recycle your banished cards, but it also means something really cool. You can use Dimension Shifter on your turn or your opponent's turn, and then Auxilia can get your cards right back. So since the deck already has 15 ways naturally to get into full combo, which is 1 card by the way, and ways to be able to play around and with hand traps, Centur-Ion could be the genuine answer to Snake Eyes. Your typical combo would be, let's just say Trudea here. You would then place your Centur-Ion Primera by placing Trudea. Then you would summon out your Primera to get your field spell. Your field spell would then allow you to be able to get a Centur-Ion Gargoyle or Emmet to your spell and trap card zone. Doesn't really matter at this point in time. From there, you'd synchro summon into your Auxilia, which then your Auxilia can get you any card from your deck to your hand. It can get you any Centur-Ion card from your deck to your hand. Almost got that one wrong. A lot of people get Wake Up. Some people will get Phalanx. It really depends on your situation. But at the end of your turn, you'll have both at least your Centur-Ion Primera and Trudea into your spell and trap card zone, which means you can activate both of their effects to special summon themselves. Stand-up Centur-Ion will allow you to synchro summon, and your effect of Primera will get a free card from your deck to your hand. You synchro summon into a monster named Crimson Dragon, which can shuffle itself into the deck by targeting your Centur-Ion Auxilia or Legatia that you would have on your hand, on your field, and then allows you to special summon a monster like Shooting Quasar Dragon, which is a 4,000 attack Omni Negation monster to your side of the field. All of that with just 1 card. So you guys know everything about Centur-Ion? You guys can now ask away on your questions. Does Centur-Ion have a Synchro 9 or the ability to make 9? If so, I can run Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss for the Omni Negate. So Centur-Ion by itself doesn't have a natural way to make a Synchro 9. But, funny that you said that, the Red Dragon Archfiend deck can be used in combination with Centur-Ion to make some pretty crazy boards. And one of them is summoning Hot Red Dragon Archfiend to be able to protect your initial combo, which is summoning your Crimson Dragon into your level 12 Synchro. How much board presence does the deck have? The deck has enough board presence to summon some huge monsters, but it doesn't like spam the field. Cards like Nibiru the Primal Being are completely useless against a Master Centur-Ion player because its entire combo is roughly 4 summons. Centur-Ion Smokescreen into Tenpai? Bro, Vero said, I'm glad this is Master Duel Talk. You're gonna destroy them. They don't even know what Smokescreen is. They don't have a side deck. Would you consider Jinzo, Machine Menace, and Law of Cosmos engine spicy or wild for Centur-Ion level 10? Bro, chat. Jinzo is... Jinzo is new meta. Oh, definitely. Jinzo's the best card in the world. Out Jinzo Centur-Ion. I did it to laugh when it was meta. Somebody get this man into get him a plane ride home. He's going crazy. Horus Notorious Centur-Ion for more level 12 synchros. Crazily enough, Centur-Ion is really good with Horus. It's good with Resonator. It's such a small engine that you don't have to play the 15. You can play 12 and still be really, really good. Will Red Reboot stop Centur-Ion? When your opponent activates a trap card, no. The Centur-Ions are activating their effects. There's a difference between activation and activating your effect. Activation is defined as playing a card from your hand to the field. Activating the effect of a card is defined as using a card that is already face up on the field's effect, or using a card effect that is in the graveyard, or activating a monster effect. So that's why you can't Red Reboot that, and it actually solves a ton of other problems too. Royal Decree against Centur-Ion? I think you guys are missing the point. Centur-Ion is technically a trap Yu-Gi-Oh deck, but Centur-Ion is also a monster-heavy, spell-heavy Yu-Gi-Oh deck. The only reason why we even say traps is because they're treated as traps. So you activating Royal Decree, you may have some success until they start doing other things. Over prepping for Centur-Ion. Bro, chat, the Viru, they are trying to get Royal Decree on Centur-Ion and Jinzo. I've never thought I'd see the day. Does the deck die to D-Barrier, or does it have some fun Exceed Link plays? The reason why the deck doesn't die to D-Barrier isn't because it has Exceed or Link plays. The reason why it doesn't die is because it synchros on both players' turns. So if it can't synchro on your turn or its turn, it'll just synchro on your turn. It slows it down, but it's not like, you know, not gonna kill them. So what I'm hearing is that we should main Trap Eater. Oh man, this man said we should main Trap Eater. I'm sick, chat. We should main Trap Eater is the craziest work I've ever heard.